Hey everyone, welcome to a new malicious compliance video. I hope you had a great day.
The first story is called, Truly Inspiring. I was working in London mid-90s as an assessor for a social work team. My job entailed visiting homes for the elderly and completing an assessment or review to check they were doing well, were happy, and still met the criteria for the funding in order to remain where they were. I had booked a meeting at a local home that was registered for people who were diagnosed with some form of dementia. We used to use an archaic term for such homes. They were called EMI. This stood for elderly, mentally, and infirm. This term is no longer used, and even at the time those of us working in this field knew it was appalling. I had booked to visit such a home and arrived probably 10 minutes early. I was immediately ushered into an office and asked to sign the visitor's book. The gentleman sat behind his desk and asked the purpose of my visit. I advised I was there to complete a review. He asked who for, and I stated the name, which he looked up and gave me the door number. We then had a little chat about the home, and he asked if I was looking for any vacancies in an EMI home. I said, yes, actually, I had recently reviewed a lady who would need a vacancy and this home might fit the bill. He flipped through a folder, stopped on a room and said, yes, room 7 will be available in a week. He told me the cost of the room and stated I could take a look. I agreed that I would take a look after my review. As I got up to leave, I asked what was happening to the resident in room 7. He replied, I'm going to be out of here as soon as I can, so the room is yours. As I turned to ask what he meant, the actual manager of the home came and asked who I was, and promptly asked the man who he called David if he could give us 5 minutes alone. When David had left, I advised the manager that David had just offered me room 7. After a little time spent laughing, the manager explained that all residents were given job roles within the home and that David was office admin. He said this was the first time David had attempted to do the manager's role, but had done it so brilliantly that it may be time for a promotion. I've never forgotten David or the other residents I met that day, many of who were interchangeable with the actual staff, running their own home in their way. It was truly inspiring. The last story is called, A Great Woman. I was with my sister at a large store several years ago. My sister is a sweetheart. One of the most loving people you will ever meet. She loves everyone. If you are a good person and do good things, she will appreciate you. She doesn't curse or raise her voice, ever. However, she also doesn't like or appreciate people mistreating others or injustices. She always speaks out. We were in line. It was a busy night and we were several people back. In true sister fashion, she remembered things after we were in line and sent me to go get them. I ran to get them, and upon my return, I heard the tail end of a heated discussion, which led to everyone clapping and my sister standing at the front of the line, angrily glaring at this one guy 3 people back. If I remember correctly, we were 5 people back, so 2 people behind him. Apparently, while I was gone, the cashier had to price check something and was taking a bit longer. The cashier was a very sweet young man that had Down syndrome. I don't think it was the cashier's fault things were slow. It was a busy spurt, meaning the store wasn't that busy, but quite a few people hit the registers all at the same time. According to my sister, it was a series of events that caused things to slow down on our register. Anyway, the man 3 customers back was super mad that things were taking slow and decided his time was more important than being a decent human being. He angrily muttered things under his breath that my sister refused to repeat. Then, after the second price check, he started yelling. According to the woman in front of him, that was when my sister had enough. She left our cart in line and marched over to the employee and stood next to him behind the conveyor belt. She looked at the employee and told him, "You are perfect, and don't let mean people try to tell you otherwise." Then she glared at the man, raising her voice to be heard since he was still yelling, and now at her. He doesn't need any other reason to be slow. I assume he was cursing too, but my sister doesn't curse, and when I was told what I missed, it was by my sister and the older woman that was in front of that mean dude. Anyway, she stared daggers into the man and bluntly told him, "How dare you talk to someone like that? No one deserves to be talked to like that. Also, I abhor that word retard, but the only one acting like that is you." The man said something about how my sister can't talk to him like that, he's a customer. To which my sister told him I don't work here and that I don't know him. What I do know is you have a poor attitude and should think about how you talk to people, as you don't want to be that guy. I could hear the "I don't work here" as I came back and ended up running past everyone, seeing my sister still standing by the employee with her hand on his back. I ran past everyone and stood at the end of the conveyor belt. Mostly, I wanted to be in between the man and my sister. Everyone started clapping by this point and all were staring at him. Some guy that was behind us was cheering on my sister and calling things out like, "Dude, don't be a douche, just shut up." No one moved or said anything else, so my sister continued. "As I see it, you have two choices. You can leave and go somewhere else or shut your mouth." At this point, a manager came up and stood next to me looking around at everyone. It was dead quiet and everyone was waiting to see what the man wanted to do. The manager asked, "Is everything okay here?" My sister answered, "This man here was verbally abusing your employee." The manager looked mad, but the guy was already properly shamed for his attitude, looked down not saying anything. My sister looked at the employee asking him if he was okay or if he needed a break. The manager was a little slow but backed up the brake, even offered to take over his lane. The employee said he wanted one but wanted to clear his lane first. My sister refused to leave his side. I refused to move as I wanted to stay between the angry guy and my sister. The manager stood next to me and took over bagging, though he told the rest of the people in the line that the other register was now open. A few people went. The guy went through the line quietly, paid, and left and refused to look at anyone in the eyes. After he went through, my sister waved the guy that was behind us through so we would be last. After we finished paying, the employee came around and gave her the biggest hug and thanked her. He had tears in his eyes. He said that it happened often and that was the first time anybody has ever stood up for him. He also explained this was why he rarely helps on the register unless it is late at night. My sister told him to always remember, if people are mean, it wasn't his fault or his problem, it's their problem. After that, he left to go on break while the older woman stayed to talk to us and offered to buy our items. My sister refused the offer but happily talked to her while they filled me in. The manager came out a few minutes later and gave us coupons and a gift card. She took the coupons but asked if he would give the gift card to the employee. Honestly, I'm surprised that the angry man stayed and checked out. I hope he thinks about how he talks to people in the future. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Let me know what you think about the video in the comments section below. I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.